Damn. Okay. Let's do it then. Bye, guys. Oh, man. Oh, shit. He's calling people. That's bad. Squalo? Whoa, that looks cool. Did they take a real picture? Maybe taken dead or alive. Golden Wind. Determinazione? Determination? Special program. So, no episode. Which means, or what was it called? Origami no Requiem? The new opening is coming tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow. Next week. Or 2 weeks from now. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So, take a moment to reflect on this. So, you know, I don't know if it was obvious or not, but I knew I knew Fugo wasn't gonna come. I saw all the memes. Fugo not being in part 5, basically. Well, I definitely feel like he did have a presence. I did feel like he was there. He just wasn't a stand battle guy. Like, I feel like he was one of the people, and he did have some input. And I'm not really sad to see him leave, but, you know, it would have been cool to have him, especially with his badass stand. Purple Haze. Determinazione. Yeah, that sounds Italian. That's the next special. Another filler episode. So we're not going to get episode 22 until next week. Alright, so what else? Damn, they should have. I'm surprised that they didn't explain. You know I thought it would have been cool if Bruno like snapped on Ibaka. If Bruno was like, "Listen here, Ibaka, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to." Oh wait, I just noticed there's a bunch of zippers around the logo. That's cool. Anyway, you need to notice that you need to stop treating Jordan like this. And I'm surprised he didn't like go into detail about how Giorno joined Bucciarati with intentions to, you know, go against the boss. And Bruno really made it sound like they did that just for Trish. Like, that's the only reason they're rebelling. And I know he wasn't going to harm the boss. He just wanted to find out his identity. Yeah, what does that mean? What does that mean? Finding out his identity and not harming. Or I guess he wanted to talk to the boss about stopping the drug trade. He's like, "Hey, boss, you know, stop the drug trade in the gang." Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it does make sense. And he's like, "Okay, you made it personal now." Originally, I was just like, "Hey, man, I don't want the kids to fucking do crack on the streets of Italy. That's all. Can we change that?" And then, and now it's right. Okay, so you made it personal, so I'm gonna have to make it personal, and I'm coming for your head, boss. That was such a natural way to introduce new antagonists too, because first they introduced the Hitman Squad, and I did wish there was a few other people thrown in there to just balance it out a little bit. But I see why they didn't do that, because honestly, that's not it would be kind of weird to have those two random stand battles to be like, or two stand battles in the start to be like, okay, people are coming after you, and then to just go like, oh yeah, this is the group, this is the main people that are coming after you, but there's still these random people showing up. So I see why they wouldn't throw in the random people and just have the group, the Hitman Squad. Eluso has still not shown up yet. Wait, no, Eluso, no. What was it? Risotto, yeah. Risotto has not shown up yet. The metal guy, or yeah, him, the leader of La Squadra. He's not shown up yet. I'm excited to see what happens with him now that they basically set up that there's going to be more people coming after Bruno and Giorno. Bruno and Giorno, they both have alliterative names, and their first names will sound similar. Bruno, Giorno. It's cool. So yeah, as I was saying, I like how it was like La Squadra, basically. Okay, two stand battles. People are in the group are going to come after other people in the group, especially if it's like they're trying to acquire this fortune. Of course, they're in the mafia. You know, of course. Then they have the Squadra right here. I keep doing this for the Squadra. The Squadra's right here, and their members are gonna come out, they're gonna keep showing up, and there's 7 La Squadron members, and I'm so glad there actually was 7 La Squadron members, because there were like 9, 2 of them are gone because they tried to betray the boss. Now there's 7, and they did send 7 in part 3. This is in Star Wars Crusaders. This is a little gripe I have with Star Wars Crusaders. They said there were going to be like 7 or 9 stand users that Dio sent. And then after that, they didn't mention it again, but all of a sudden, like 50 more stand users showed up. The Lovers showed up. I think the Lovers was the first one in Steely Dan and the Lovers. I forgot who, Justice, I think? No, Death 13. Yeah, a bunch of other stand battles before we got to the Egypt arc. When we got to the Egypt arc, then they started to say, oh, okay, yeah, they're also the Egyptian gods stand users that are coming. And that's cool and all, but they never touched on the fact that they said there were going to be 9 stand users, or however many stand users, and then they got to that point, and I've literally been counting. They got to that point, and then they're like, more stand users. We're not going to mention it, we're not going to talk about it. No one in the group is going to be like, what? I thought there was going to be 9. They were when the Egyptian god guys showed up. But, yeah, that was kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, I like how they came back to that. And now we have a really natural setup for how there's still going to be stand users coming. I'm glad we got to see the boss. The boss, I'm a little underwhelmed, kind of. Like, they revealed his stand, and usually there's this whole, with Dio, there's this whole thing about what the fuck is his stand going to be. And with Kira, it was like, actually, Kira's fit, because they figured out who Kira was, and then he got away. That was really fitting for his character and what they're trying to do in part 4 with the whole community thing. The community finds out, then they have to go search for him, like, knowing who he is, but he changed his identity, and that was a really cool thing. The boss, they didn't show his face, and that didn't really matter to me. Like, it didn't matter if they didn't show his face. We saw his stand, and the stand is the interesting part. The stand is the interesting part about the boss. It really is. The whole setup for a main antagonist in JoJo, part 3 and up, is what's their ability gonna be? And he was like, oh yeah, King Crimson, I'm gonna use the Japanese original name for it. King Crimson, he can just, he erases time, and he can do it for like 10 seconds. And they figured out all that shit about the boss, and then they just got away. And I know he's sending people after them, but they just got away. Like, you'd think, given what happened with whatever those 2 La Squadron members were, the original 2 that got taken care of, the original 2, you'd think that the boss himself could do some more, like, because he was afraid to even get seen by all the stand users, and that's smart. You would get your ass kicked, but you're the big bad of part 5. You're the big bad, and he didn't feel that big bad to me. He felt like he was afraid. I mean, when he first grabbed Trish in that ominous presence, that at the end of the last episode, at the end of episode 20, he really had that ominous thing going for him. But this time around, he did have some ominous moments, but seeing his stand really took a lot from me. A lot of the impact. Like if so, here, let me come up with an alternative. If Bruno was, let's say, eliminated at the end of the last episode, and he really was, and then that would have been it. And then Jonah was like, wait, something's wrong. Stop, don't keep going. And then they got there and they found him. That would have been kind of scarier to have. And he didn't explain what his ability was. He just showed up and took care of him. I know that'd be kind of like redoing what Star Wars Crusaders did with the whole what's the boss's stand thing. But the what's the boss's stand thing would have been really cool as another like murder mystery, a mystery kind of thing for Vento Araya for part 5. Like, that would have just been really cool. They didn't do that. And I'm excited to see what's next. I would like to see what they have in store now. Like the next stand users. Like I know a few of their names, I think, but the exact abilities, not really. I mean, I have some idea because, like I said, I've been spoiled on some small things. I wouldn't say I know too much though. Like let's say this. I can enjoy the rest of part 5. that's the level of spoiled I've been. I can enjoy the rest of part 5, and that's yeah. So I'm glad I can. I'm excited to see the next stand uses, next stand battles. At the same time, as much as I'm excited, I'm also kind of like, yeah, the boss. He seemed kind of a weak big bad. And I know that this is only episode 21. There's only 39 episodes in this part. So yeah, around that level, around that number. And they're going to be... So there's a lot to do. There's a lot of setting up for the boss to do. But as like a first taste of all this King Crimson hype, all this, what is King Crimson's ability, all that hype, yeah, just a little bit underwhelming. I really like seeing that scene animated of the group, of Fugo separating from the group. It was powerful. Because, again, I've been spoiled on the fact that Fugo, and I'm not going to blame anyone for this. I knowingly, I knew what I was doing. That Fugo wouldn't be part of the, he wouldn't be really a part of the group. He'd kind of just be standing there the whole time. And 2, he has not many battles, and then he just leaves at some point. Originally, I thought he was gonna, I thought the boss was gonna get him. I thought some stand user was gonna get him. But no, he just left. Or he just was like, I can't do that. And it made a lot of sense to me. Yeah, given his backstory, I'm glad they gave us this backstory. It makes a lot of sense. He's like, oh man, I'm not gonna do that. Especially, he's like, I'm not gonna let my emotions take control. Because last time Fugo let his emotions take control, was the last big moment in his life, was when he, it was actually a self-defense moment. Now that I think about it. When that creepy teacher in his backstory, the creepy fucking college professor was trying to, get on top of him and, basically try to get on top of him and lure him to his house, and yeah, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna kick your ass, and he kicked his ass, and there's an interesting parallel between Fugo and Bruno's stories. Bruno kicked some guy's ass, and then he's like, and then he got into the gang. Take that over to Fugo. Fugo did a similar thing, and he got basically shunned from society. Or Bruno and Fugo were both basically shunned from society. But Bruno was like, I'm gonna use that. That's gonna be my power, my shunning. I'm gonna join this gang. This is my power. I'm gonna go against the boss, and it's in his character. It is in his character to go against the boss. I'm gonna go against the boss. That's just me. I'm gonna fight the power. Fugo's like, nah, I can't let that shit happen again. Especially if he was sexually abused in the past, and yeah, it all just makes a lot of sense for him to not show up, to not do that. And his ability, Purple Haze, being too OP to even show up, it makes sense. I'm not mad that Fugo was underused. I feel like he was used a decent amount. He was definitely, he played his part. He played his part in the part. in Vento Oreo, however you say it. In the Golden Wind anime, in the Golden Wind manga, in Golden Wind, he did what he was supposed to. It would have been nice to see him have more fights. If they could have balanced it out, because the fights I've been seeing him miss his face a lot. Bruno got 2 fights, I think. Jorno got 2 fights. Mista got 3. And consider we have 7 members of the group. We had 7 members of the group. We had 7 members of the group, and 3 of them got multiple battles. Abakio got 1 battle, Fugo got 1 battle, Narancha got 1 battle. Trish has no battle so far. She still hasn't awakened whatever her stand is going to be. She still hasn't awakened that. So, 3 of them that have stands haven't been in battles, and it makes sense. Abakio, he's used his stand, and he has helped. He has used his stand. He used it as per the boss's orders to rewind time and figure out what that guy's with the Pericolo, I think was his name, what his final message was. He did that. He hasn't been in many battles, and he could be in some battles. Honestly, like they figured out a way for it to work in that battle on the ship with the octopus guy. Wait, no, it wasn't octopus. But you know the one, the battle on the ship, the first battle with the crew in part 5. But he would just been a side character. Oh no, he has gotten 2 battles. My mistake. I take that back. He got that first one, and then he got the one with Fugo and Giorno. But even then, that's Giorno's battle too. Giorno's been in a lot of battles, and I'm not gonna be mad at that because he's the main protagonist. Giorno Giovanna is the main protagonist of Vento Reo. Of course, he's gonna get a lot of battles. Giorno's fine. I'll be mad at Giorno. I feel like there could have been more balancing. Like Fugo could have got some fights where Mista got some fights, you know? Narantia hasn't really had that. I feel like Narantia still has some hope. She goddamn it. Narantia still has some some hope. So Narantia can still get some more fights. It's just the pacing. Like having one fight at the start, literally being the first person to be knocked out of a fighting area, and then in that first battle on the ship, and then having come back much later after having all these Bruno, Mista, Giorno fights, it could be kind of paced a little bit better. I'd say a little bit better. Yeah. So all that being said, enjoyed the episode. It was cool. One more thing. I know Vento Reo is going for a different field than Stardust Crusaders was, but I really get the sense that this is like if Stardust Crusaders happened in a week, and because I'm getting sort of a rushed kind of vibe from it. Not like the plot in the story is rushed. Well, actually, yeah, in some places. The main thing I want to get at, well, first before I get to that, was that Ghiaccio and who was it? Malone. I feel like they took care of those guys really quickly. Like I feel like that happened really, really fast. I know it didn't, but I just get this feeling that it happened. Like Ghiaccio's fights took 2 episodes, I think. His fight took 2 episodes, and that's not really rushed. But I just had like Venice is right there. We're about to be in Venice in like 2 minutes, and I knew they were gonna beat him. So it was like, okay, just take care of Ghiaccio, and you're in Venice, and you can go see the boss. So I had this anticipation for the boss the whole time in his fight, or at least towards the end of it. So that was the first thing. Second thing, I was, now I think about it, it's not really an issue. It's that again, this is different than Stardust Crusaders. But in Stardust Crusaders, you had a sense of unity. Like, the group, the core group, Polnareff, Avdol, Joseph, Iggy, Kakyoin, Jotaro. Even when Iggy was basically forced in there, they had this, like, group dynamic. Like, they were unity. When the first 4 guys stepped out to head off to Japan, and to head off to Egypt, but they started in Japan to leave Japan. When they first set out, they all stood together as a group. I'm not gonna do that pose, but they stood together as a group, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go do this." And then when they convinced Polnareff, he joined. It was cool, and they were like, they had buddy moments. They're all, even though none of them really knew each other, they had this sense of unity, this like family-ish vibe about them. And I kind of miss that. Upon hearing that Passione, or this little small group of Passione, would be like another Stardust Crusaders, before I started watching the anime, I was like, oh yeah, okay. that'll be interesting to see. But and I suppose this is more realistic. Well, I would this when I say this, I mean one, Abakio hates the shit out of Giorno. That's one. Two, Narancia, Fugo, and Mista interact a lot. Abakio is off to the side. Bruno is off to the side, but has his own like thing because he's the leader of the group. Giorno hasn't really. I get it, but Giorno doesn't really have many friends in the group, or he didn't. It took a while. Like Fugo was instantly won over. Mista was won over pretty quickly. Abakio hates him though. Narancia, I haven't really seen any Narancia Giorno moments. Like Narancia and Giorno, yeah, I haven't seen much of that. Like I feel like the group dynamic, the whole group could just have more interactions. Basically, that's what I'm saying. The group could have more interactions. And yeah, because it really feels like Abakio is off to the side. Fugo and Narancia and Mista are in this little trio. Bruno's off to the side. Giorno's off to the side, sometimes with Bruno. So yeah, I just feel like they could be, together a little more. Again, it is realistic that the relationships would play out like that, and that they're not all like super buddies. Really are buddy, but it's taking a while for them to warm up to the main character, Giorno. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm gonna end it. I think I've said my piece. I said my piece is actually plural. It was a good episode. I've been enjoying the anime. Yeah, even with all the little critiques I have, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see more. Excited to see these next standouts. Excited to see the last member of La Squadra show up, because he has not been evolved. Risotto has not been here for a while, and it's kind of weird that he hasn't showed up. And that means, well, in my experience, that means that's something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. Yeah, something's about to happen with him. So excited to see whatever that is. Excited to see the boss again. Excited to see him personally go after the group. So I'm gonna cut that off here. Thank you guys for enjoying my video or watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to, of course, like, comment, subscribe if you're new or you're interested in me and what I do. So yeah, see you guys.